All right, it's our Man Cave segment. It's when we get to take a nosy into some of the best garages and sheds around the country. Bruce, you love it.
I love it, but I reckon today might be a little bit controversial, a little bit different.
Now, we've opened a can of worms on the show before with that replica Porsche 356. Let's meet the man who made it.
An old friend of mine, Nick Theodosi, been in cars for 1,000 years. He couldn't talk highly enough about what you're doing. Can you briefly explain what you're doing here?
We're having a ball, to be honest. It's the best fun in the world. Having great customers, building beautiful cars, it doesn't get any better. We start from the ground up designing classic looking cars. So, you know, we really celebrate the 50s, 60s styling. I love that time. But as an engineer, my passion for 50s and 60s engineering probably isn't there. So for me, it was about originally building for myself the perfect car.
The word replica or recreation, copy replica has some negative connotations.
When we think of replica, we sometimes think, you know, of a copy watch or a copy bag or something like that. And, you know, I can understand that approach. We started from the ground up with a clean slate and designed, based on modern suspension, modern engine architecture and electronics, a full custom car, really, that uses all custom car components, wrapped within an original 356 skin. So there are very strict guidelines on what these cars need to achieve to be registered legally. Owners understand that, and we build these cars in concert with the owner. But these cars have to pass side intrusion collision, they need specific braking tests, they have to pass particular emission standards. But I absolutely relish that part of it as well, because to try and meet all of that in a package that still looks the way it does is incredibly challenging, and I don't see that as a negative. I see that as a real interesting challenge, and you have to embrace it or else it'll drive you crazy.
You ever disagree with any of the clients?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've had a few of them
You'd be shy about it too.
No, I'm not. Yeah, exactly. They're like, they have to remind me whose car it actually is, because I build each one of these as if it's my own, right? It's built the way I would love to build the car in all the different colours. The shape itself, when it comes to the 356, is something that you can replicate, but the badges and Porsche name have to stay off the car. A lot of our clients fit that post-delivery. It's not as though they're passing it off. Most people will definitely know when the car's moving that that's not an original car, especially off at the lights, you know.
Usually because it's running.
It's not that bad, but yeah.
What are the other models that you see as iconic that you've already touched on?
The Mercedes brand is also another from the 50s. They had some iconic cars back then. You know, we definitely like to look at that. For other clients in the past, we've done a beautiful XJ13.
How important is it about the product you're proud of as opposed to corporate bottom line?
Well, there is no bottom line, right? I mean, I started this business after being in corporate for 30 years and basically achieved what I wanted to. You don't start this business really, you know, to make a lot of money. It's not the road to riches, it's a road to a lot of enjoyment. We've got a product that's awesome, that takes a fair bit of time to produce. You know, to do this 20 years ago, the investment would have been even higher. You know, right now we can 3D print every knob, the switch assemblies, trim parts, and we laser scan parts, CAD them up, we CNC. We've got people that finish university and join us full time after finishing engineering degrees. And the enjoyment in hiring those people into this environment where they get to see design, development and production within 2 weeks on a component is rare now.
You're the older statesman.
I am,
Do these
yeah.
young guys appreciate the older shapes as well?
100%, you know, I mean, a lot of them have older cars. Bryce has older cars and races older cars, and Jake's into Alphas, you know, so he's an expert in rust repair and things like that. So, you know, it's a joke,
Alphas in the driveway, you can hear it rusting.
So this is the perfect business because I get to engineer heavily and create things with my hands, and it makes the day so enjoyable because when you get home, you've achieved something. In a lot of jobs, that can be hard to work out at the end of the day, what you actually achieved.
Unbelievable. I've just walked away from there thinking about what combination could I come up with modern running gear and an beautiful old body.
Okay, what's the dream?
The dream?
Yeah.
300 SL AMG running gear, just like Nick.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. Rightio. It's like Frankenstein, just creating something a little different. Hey, thanks for joining us on the Car Club and look forward to seeing you next week.
And don't forget to check out the Car Club on social media.